Shabbat Shalom. I know a couple who are complete opposites. One of them is extroverted and loud, and the other is more introverted and quiet. One loves to be adventurous and explore the world and thrives on new experiences and meetings and encounters. And the other would be very happy if they just had the same day over and over again, and it would give them a lot of strength just to have that. One shares what's on their minds and hearts, and the other is wonderfully warm, but is more reserved, keeps a lot inside. And yet they've been married for many, many years, and at first it was a struggle, but after time it started to play out differently. So our parsha today is about opposites. Esau and Jacob, the two brothers, are opposites. One is born hairy and ruddy, and the other is smooth, grabbing the heel of the other. And even from the moment before they're born, in the womb, they are struggling together until Rebecca turns to God and says, "What is happening here?" Then as they grow older, the differences persist. One is a knower, a yodei atzai, a knower of hunting and a man of the fields, Esau. And the other is a simple man who likes to dwell in tents, and this is Jacob. And their differences play out through all of their years, their younger years. Esau is impulsive, and one day as he comes back from hunting and he's famished, his cunning brother Jacob proposes, I'll sell you this bowl of soup for the physical inheritance of the family. And Esau agrees. Later, Jacob tricks his father, as we know, to take the even greater spiritual blessing of their grandfather Abraham, just as Esau is out trying to fulfill his father's wishes of eating some game. And Esau, who is brutal but also earnest, cries when he hears of the loss of this blessing. And each of them is favored by a different parent. But also, I think we often forget that the two are twins. They're twins. And they're joined together as twins are from the moment of their inception, with a unique link between them. They're really two sides of the same coin. And you see it in their conversation when Esau comes back from hunting and he's offered the bowl of soup. We see in that curt conversation how they really know each other very, very well, how closely they actually understand what's going on in each other's minds. Jacob knows his brother, and maybe Esau even knows and trusts in a certain way his brother, and maybe even knows that he deserves the inheritance in a certain sense. And also they are complete opposites. They also share much. They both really want to be loved and care about their parents and what they think. When Esau marries two local women and sees his parents who are unhappy about who he chose to marry, he decides to change his ways. And they both really want the blessing of their grandfather Abraham. But their wrestling is instinctive. On the other hand, one of them came out holding the heel of the other. And we can imagine how Jacob must have looked up to his older, strong brother Esau. We can imagine that Esau, he was envious of Jacob's obvious qualities and intelligence. And each had to be molded and brought up and raised and looked after differently by their parents. Rebecca thought Jacob needs someone to see him and to fight for him to receive a share of the family blessing because of the overbearingness of Esau. And as the Ishbitzer Rebbe says, Jacob, on the other hand, Isaac felt he had to favor Esau because he thought, Jacob, he's going to be okay. I'm not worried about him, but I'm worried about Esau. I need to love him and give him help. From the beginning, we learned that one would ultimately serve the other. But did it really have to be that way? And would it be so in every single way? And could they have not found a way to work together? And how powerful it would have been if they'd managed to work together and complement each other. Twins with two different skills and approaches, And instead of being fathers of two different nations, what if they'd been brothers uniting all in their faith? And how often humanity has gone further from its goal of uniting, of returning to the unity of the garden, but instead we've chosen division and splitting. And the Torah tells us this story as a tale about the very nature of our world, where opposites struggle against each other and war against each other over physical and spiritual and emotional inheritance, and where twins and brothers and sisters do not dwell together in unity and only exasperate the situation and each other's differences, and only exasperate their own differences, friends and spouses pushing themselves to be different until they're parodies of themselves against the difference of the other. And where the desire for power, which really is a yearning for love and acceptance, leads those who are linked together by such strong bonds and long years to try to crush each other until families are broken and split. I remember once reading an article about a man looking back at a relationship that had not worked for him many years later, and he said, "Oh, how I could have been different in that way and in that way." And when the Kabbalists explain, well, what is the difference between the first world that God created? We have this teaching that God created one world and then it was split and shattered. And what's the difference between that world and the world we live in now? It's simple, they say. In the first world, everything was in relationship with each other. Everybody in every part of the world was interdependent and interconnected and aware of it and knew about it and knew this, the interconnectedness and the interdependence. But in the world that we live now, after the shattering, there is separation. Everyone is in their own space, in their own little worlds, in their own minds, leading to misunderstandings, to jealousies, to stories playing out within each of us. But that also makes it, we each have a task, and our task is to rebuild interconnection, relationship, interdependence, to create that healing in that relationship, and that connection and that dependence. And how could those moments of Esau and Jacob that we read about, how could a small little shift made them play out in a different way? Even one small step bringing together opposites is a repair, a tikkun. And in the end, Jacob, he flees for 21 long years, and then he comes back, and the story ends differently than the way it begins. He returned with a large family and a flock, and Esau comes to greet him with the 400 armed men. But Jacob sends wonderful gifts to his brother along the way. And after he wrestles all night with an angel, when he finally sees his twin, he falls on the ground in humility. And Esau is moved by his brother. He hasn't seen him in 21 years. It's his twin, the other side of his coin. And he's moved by his humility. And he's grateful for the gift. And he's amazed at what a large family he's built up and all of his flocks. And in the end, humility and gratitude and love at seeing each other overpower all the old problems, and they embrace. And in the end, for the rest of their lives, they work together to bury their father eventually, to each have space to increase their own lands and families, each playing their part. Love, connection, gratitude, they fill us with the power to heal ourselves and the universe in peace. May all the opposites in our lives find their complicity and interdependence. May gratitude and love wear down the separation that plagues us all. May we all find wholeness. Shabbat Shalom.